The Minecraft overworld has been improved over the last few updates, but at the end of the day, it's still default terrain. Even the highest peaks in the game lack character. But today, that's all going to change. With some new tools and renewed focus, we're going to forever change the skyline with skyscraping mountain ranges. So for the planning stage, I will be doing this in a creative test world using a new mod called Axiom that has kind of been revolutionizing the building game. It's actually incredible, and I highly recommend you guys watch some tutorials on it out and just read up on it. So you can use this new tool called elevation, and I can load in custom height maps, or these are ones that come with the preset, and then I can simply, upon changing radius sizing, I can essentially draw how I want these mountains to turn out. And I'll be messing with this for a while. I'm going to probably do a few iterations, and then I'm going to pick one that's one of my favorites. I do want to show you guys another awesome tool though, which is that I can very easily just select a block, for example. So this is in this case grass block, and then I can set stone, and I can simply paint, and it will automatically mask. And this is going to be very critical because I plan to create a shadow effect on these mountains where one side is highlighted almost like this, where you can see the shadow coming off the edge. I'll be doing this with a darker color palette as well as a lighter color. I've now finished building, and I wanted to show you guys one of the single peaks that is in this mountain range on a world map. Now I'm not going to show you everything else. There is a whole range that extends this way. Oh, you can see it in the corner there. But I wanted to show just a sample and give you guys a tease at what's to come. So to accomplish this, we're going to start AFK in our stone generation farm, and I actually need all 54 shulker boxes in this box to be completely full of stone, and I don't believe we have that much left over. We got a little bit. Not nearly 54 shulker boxes though. So, let's get AFKing. Cybark is actually currently in the process of moving all of our industrial farms over, so eventually they will all be hidden underground over in this new area. But for now, we still have to go over to our old industrial district and go AFK that stone farm right there. Now if we head into the back of our storage room here, you can see our large 64 furnace array. I don't think I've shown this off in a video yet, but it's a simple 64 furnace array of our own design that runs off of these two massive bamboo farms. And with that, I'm going to smelt 36 of these shulker boxes, and I'll see you guys here in a minute. And there we have it, the last shulker box of stone.
So Penguin, I can call you Penguin, right?
Yeah, that's okay.
What was the hardest block to gather?
I would say the snow block was. Crafting the blocks took forever, as there's a limited number of snowballs you can hold at a time.
How many blocks did you gather?
We had to gather 682,000 blocks for the mountains.
Did you gather way more blocks than you actually needed?
Abso-fucking-lutely. Next we'll need 85,699 moss. Thankfully we've already made this really good farm, so all I'll have to do is sit here for a while. Next we're going to need to gather 102,453 grass blocks, or 59.3 shulkers. Now thankfully in the past, from all this area we've cleared, we've actually gathered a ton of grass already, so this should be as easy as just carrying this all over to the platform and starting to build. Next up is gray concrete. We need 57,360 gray concrete, and to do this we're just going to use our end duper to quickly get 57,000, and then we're going to go over here to our blast chamber and turn it into concrete very easily. This is all AFKable. Super nice. If you haven't been able to figure out yet, I purposely built this mountain out of entirely AFKable blocks, as gathering 600 plus thousand blocks was just not in the cards for me, assuming I ever wanted this video to come out. Next up is the mud. We can just turn right around and do the exact same thing as the concrete in the same room, just using a slightly different chamber. Now thankfully with the mud, just like the grass, we've already gathered all of the dirt necessary for this from previous terrain renovations, so all I have to do is go and turn it all into mud.
What inspired you to make this absolute behemoth of a mountain range?
Views. Next we need a roughly 21,400 gray wool. And to do that, we're just going to use our wool farm that we've already made. However, we did dye multiple other color sheep to gray wool just to speed up the process. Now, I don't want to bore you guys with everything else, it's pretty straightforward. So there was 120,000 cobblestone needed. Same thing, just sat there, let the farm ran. That one was very quick. The farm produces like 128, I believe, every time a TNT explodes. Next up after that was snow blocks. This took the longest out of them all. I had to gather 25,300 snow blocks, and if you've ever crafted 25,000 snow blocks, you'll understand why I'm complaining. Nextly is green concrete. We needed roughly 20,000 of that. Same thing as the gray concrete, we just ran the blast chamber after running the end duper. Next was polished diorite. We needed 17,000 polished diorite. Thankfully we had all of that already gathered. Same with the andesite, we needed 7,300 and we had all of that gathered. I think it's time to head on to the next step. Now for step 3, which is building the mountain. I wanted to talk to you guys about a pressing matter on my channel. I have received a ton of people asking for downloads to my builds. I originally planned to not give them out as I was nervous about people taking credit for them. I have, however, now since realized that they'll do it anyways, when I found a GameRant article that jacked one of my old builds and it hit the front page of Reddit. It was the original Temple of the Sun, so I've decided to list all my schematics for sale on Patreon. I have no idea how to price my time and effort correctly on a Minecraft build, so prices are subject to change, but if you're interested in supporting me and helping me pay for my server, or just want to take a swipe at building one of these mega builds, feel free to check that out. Apart from that, I wanted to take a second and apologize for my lack of uploads. I am in my senior year at university and I have roughly 3 months left till I graduate, and it's been a massive time sink. On top of this, I've actually scrapped a large project that I was gathering over 100,000 blocks for, and that was a large waste of time. So hopefully the next video will be out soon, as it's going to be a simple one where I tour the world and update everyone on the progress we've made over the last 3 years. And just like that, we have finished the first peak of Thunder's Edge. Standing at over 250,000 blocks placed so far, this mountain marks the first piece of what will become one of Minecraft's most epic mountain ranges. I am super happy with how this build has turned out, and I can't wait for you guys to see what the next two look like. But for now, let's take a quick peek at this. I don't think I have ever seen in a survival world mountains that actually reach sky limit from the ground. I think this is around 7 blocks short of sky limit right now. We use the entire terrain up. There's a few details I want to point out real quick that will be fixed in the future. Just because of the way I designed this, it overlaps the river partially in some sections, and then this is where the second mountains are. The bigger mountain range will be going in eventually. I will be doing a full custom river on this whole stretch. That won't be in this video, but it will be possibly in a future one. I might do it off camera or on stream. We'll have to see how that goes. But for now, I am very happy with how the first one has turned out. And like I said, we're only a third of the way, so let's go place the next 600-ish thousand blocks. I have also been thinking of cool ways to interact with all of you, so I wanted to get your guys' opinion. Would a spectator-only server that I update with every major video be of interest to you? Essentially, it would be a world copy where you are able to log in and view the world for yourself. Just to reiterate, this would update after every video, as to not spoil future content, but then you would be able to see our progress in almost real time. Another option would be to potentially add a dynamap, which would give you guys a real-time mini-map of our world to view. If you guys have any other ideas as to what we could do to interact with you guys more, or anything in particular you'd want to see in the future, please leave it down below in the comment section. I will be reading through them all. At this point, I've honestly run out of things to talk about, so I'm going to let you guys enjoy the last 60,000 or so blocks being placed, so sit back and enjoy. I'm actually overwhelmed by how good this turned out. It's always been a dream of mine to create a good mountain range. Looking back on this project, it took around 250 hours of total work. That includes planning, block gathering, building, and video editing. and it was worth every second. This mountain range will now be visible from almost anywhere on the world, and it will make all of our future builds look even more epic. I'd like to give a special thanks to Cybark for helping me build this, and these schematics will now be available on Patreon as well. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.